Coming up on Finding Better, Kristin Wyza is joining me, and we're going to be talking about one of the worst things that can happen in your professional working career, and that is getting laid off. One day you're working your dream job and just cranking and enjoying life, and the next day you don't have a job anymore. Unbelievable. And we're going to talk about turning lemons into lemonade and how, you know what? How really tough things that happen in your life, because life is not fair, can turn into the best things that happen in your life. Everything's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. This too shall pass. And the fact of the matter is, with the rise of I hate to say this, but I have to say this, it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. So take a listen and share this. Here we go. Hello, 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 and welcome back to our Finding Better podcast. My name is John Suzuki, and I am your host. And this is where we share real life experiences because I've discovered that sometimes the best path to success in life is to follow in the footsteps of folks who have been there and done that, right? Follow their path. I have with me today Kristin Wyza. We're going to talk about something that is near and dear, maybe the wrong choice of words, but is relatable to just about everybody out there. It's one of those things that has happened to some folks, you know. You may actually be worried about it yourself, or you may know other people who are in precarious situations and might be concerned about it. And what we're going to talk about is being laid off from your job. Um, this is something that's happening all over the place. It's happening every single day. And like I said, it may be you who is laid off. You may be worried about being laid off, or you may know somebody who's who's worried about being laid off. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Kristin's journey on what she went through and how she turned lemons into lemonade, and how the whole thing ended up being the bright spot of her life. And so, with that, Kristin, welcome to Finding Better. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much, John. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, I'm super excited to have you. You know, this is a topic, your experience is something that is so timely right now. You know, I mean, things are happening so fast, and with the rise of artificial intelligence and just the increasing acceleration, if you will, of change in the world. Now, I want you to tell us your story. I want you know, you live in Orlando, right?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful Orlando, world of Disney,
Right.
and or Disney World. I know, but anyway, it is the world of Disney, and that's where your experience happened. So, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what makes you tick, what you like to do, and then we'll get into a little bit about your experience.
Yeah, I am actually originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and like grew up. I went to college in Ohio, so not too far from home, about an hour and a half. And during my experience in college, I caught wind of a program that Disney did for college students called the College Program and applied and was accepted. And so, for a summer in between my sophomore and junior year, I did my college internship working at Disney in the college program. So,
That
uh,
is, and that's a big deal. That's
it,
a big
it
deal, getting a
yes.
college internship with Disney. And for you young folks out there who are going to college right now, learn from this. Learn, learn from this.
Hmm.
First step, first head start, right?
Yeah.
Fast start from college into industry is an internship. Sorry, I just
Yes.
had to throw that in there,
Oh
Kristen. But
no, that's
yeah,
that's you're exactly right. In fact, when I went, I thought I was just going to like a seminar about it to learn, so I wasn't dressed for an interview or anything like that. Didn't realize that because a friend of mine mentioned going, and so I didn't have a lot of information. So I went, and when we showed up, and I saw people in suits. Of course, this was a long time ago. I think maybe
yeah,
things have
yeah,
relaxed a bit, but people
yeah.
were like dressed, carrying like it was a briefcase and just very, very put together. And I'm there in like a sweater vest and khakis. And I was like kind of mortified at the time, thinking, what am I doing? And so, we just went with it and rolled with the whole setup. And it was a seminar, but it turned into like a group interview. And I ended up getting hired because they go to colleges and recruit people basically. And
Yeah.
you know how you remember certain times of, certain moments, and the moment I found out I got that job, internship, I truly remember it like it was yesterday,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it was super exciting and life-changing, as you can tell. Like, I'm here in Orlando now, so you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
see
And
where
I,
that
I
was
gotta,
going.
and I want to say, there's an underlying theme that I think we're going to talk about today that I just wanted to let the audience know. And that underlying theme is what is something Kristen just said. Whenever you're anything in life, just roll with it.
Yeah,
Just roll with it,
that's
And
right.
you weren't wearing a suit anyway.
Yes.
So keep
Was
that
not
keep that in the
prepared,
back of your mind. Yep, just
but
you
they
went with
looked
it.
beyond my sweater vest, in the 90s, and in khakis, and my Doc Martin boots, and and still brought me on. So yeah, I spent the summer and then went back to school after I finished that internship and finished out there. But I had in the back of my mind, I wanted to go back. I loved being in Florida. I loved the Disney culture in terms of, just working there and everything. I wasn't necessarily one of those, or I'm still not one of those people that, like, has their whole house decorated in like Mickey Mouse or anything. Like, there are
Yeah,
people like
yeah,
that,
I know,
and
I know.
God bless you. I love people like that. I just am not, but I do like, the hospitality, um, just how people are. Anyone that's
Oh my
been to
gosh.
Disneyland, Disney World, just know the cast members make the difference in your experience there. So,
I
yeah,
want to I want
absolutely.
to I want to tell you something.
Yeah.
I used to do a lot of seminars and a lot of speaking. And one of the things I talked to in hospitality, in the vacation rental industry, that's where I
Okay.
was for the last 20 years of my life. And or my career. And one of the things I would tell people is that the last experience is the lasting experience. And I use Disneyland as an example. And I told the audience, what do you think the last experience is at Disneyland? And people would say, Mickey Mouse saying goodbye, or walking down Main Street, or buying a balloon. People had all kinds of answers, but nobody had the
Hmm.
right answer. And I said, your last experience at Disneyland is the parking lot. And I said, so important is a parking lot that they have a director level person responsible only for parking. And I said, and you know what? You want to try something fun? When you're at Disneyland and you get back to your car, stand up on your bumper and act like you're looking around for your car. In 5 minutes, a golf cart's going to drive up to you and say,
It's
"Can I help you find
true.
your car?" Lift up your hood and look like you're looking. I mean, the camera's all over the place, right? In
Right.
5 minutes, somebody will come and ask you, "Can I help you?" And I said, because they know that that last experience is going to be your lasting experience, and they want that to be the best experience that you had at Disneyland. And the parking lot in Disneyland doesn't have any stoplights for you to have to go through getting on the freeway.
Uh-huh.
It just goes directly on the freeway. And so I mean Disneyland, all of us, Disneyland is legendary, kind of like Nordstrom used to be in in customer service, and it's just
Yeah.
it's just an amazing place. So I mean, I think everybody at some point in their lives fantasized working for Disney. And
Yes.
your dream came true, which is wonderful.
Yeah, yeah. And that was the beginning of it. But then once I was, finishing up in college and trying to decide what I was going to do, I decided to move back home with my parents and save money. And I got a job locally. Just I was a credit consultant at a car dealership, and then I was just stashing money away. Just it was, all with the intention of going back to Florida. And so
Wow.
in 2001, as we know, 9/11 happened. And actually, prior to that, in July, so what, 2 months prior, 2 months before 9/11, I had gotten a phone interview with Disney. And they didn't hire me. I was in Pennsylvania, so I just, didn't get the position that I wanted. And so then 9/11 happened, and goodness, I was super thankful I didn't get the job in July, because had I moved then in the way that the tourism industry took a hit at that time in
Hmm.
September, I don't think I would have made it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
knows, right? But it just
Yeah.
it would have been really tough and hard to be away from my family and everything. So, in essence, I'm glad it worked out the way it did. And by December of 2001, I had finally decided I'm going to move to Florida to live there so that they will hire me. And in January is when I packed my car. My best friend drove down with me, and I got an apartment. I had no job lined up. I just, I just went. Um, and that was scary because I was in my very early 20s, and didn't know anyone, and just had that sheer determination that if I live there, they'll hire me. But they had a hiring freeze because of 9/11. So, it's
So
one of those, go
you
ahead.
moved there during a hiring freeze?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
With the
Okay.
intention of like they'll hire me, but yeah, I it's wild because when I think back, I'm like, I would not have the guts to do that now, but I'm glad I was naive then, I
Yeah.
guess, because
Yeah.
it did all work out,
Well,
but
that's why God made us that way. Young and
yeah.
stupid and with a lot of energy.
Yes.
Then you
Yeah.
get older and you go, "What was I thinking?"
Right. Yep. So
Yeah.
I got the apartment because I had saved enough money that they felt okay to give me an apartment without a job. And I had an air mattress and two plastic patio chairs so I didn't have to sit on the floor, and that's what I started with.
That is so cool. There a lot to unwind in what you just said. The first thing is you're rejected. You're
Yes.
rejected. You gotta know. You gotta know. And you basically rolled with the punches, and you
Right.
basically said, I don't care. I'm going to go work for that company anyway. Right?
Yeah,
And that's awesome. That's awesome. You had a vision for your life and you went after it. You didn't know how you were going to do it, but gosh darn it, uh, something's going to happen and I'm going to make my way into that company.
that's right.
Yeah.
So,
So you're
yeah,
so now you're in Orlando and you're sitting there looking around and you're
right. In
going,
my
and
plastic
I'm
patio
unemployed.
chair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my that money that I had saved started dwindling down pretty quick.
Yeah.
And I
That
thought, boy, I better get a job. So I did find the same company that I worked for up north. It was a franchise. So I found the franchise, the car dealership, and ended up getting the same credit consultant position here in Orlando, just waiting for that hiring freeze to open up. And it took about 7 months before,
hmm
6 months before I got a call saying the hiring freeze is lifted, get your resume in, because I had made a connection to somebody, and who tipped me off that that position's open, go apply. And so I did, and I get, in a way, the rest is history. But yeah, they ended up hiring me at that point. So in 2002, July of 2002.
You didn't give up.
Right.
You survived, right?
Yes.
Because I mean, you didn't just sit around waiting for the hiring freeze. You couldn't,
Right.
but well, you could have, but probably wouldn't have been a smart thing to do. But you went out and found something else to do in the meantime, and then you went after it
Yes.
when the freeze lifted. And there's just so much. So I talk to young people a lot, and this is your story is something a lot of young people need to hear and can hear. It's grit. It's grit. It's determination. You have a vision for yourself, and you move forward with intention, and somehow things happen. They don't always happen exactly as you want them to, as they didn't with you, Kristen.
Right.
But somehow things have a way of working out. So you went to work for Disney,
Yes.
and did you like it?
Yeah. Yeah. I started out in like an entry level sales
I got
position.
wait. You just lit up when I asked you, did you like it? You're just like, yeah, I liked it. That was
Yes.
so awesome. That's wonderful. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, that's all good. Yeah. I mean, I remember my first day out of training. So I'd already gone through the, few weeks of training that they had for that position, and it was my first day out on my own, which was at I worked for the Disney Vacation Club. So you said you were in vacation
Oh,
rental. So
very cool. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Disney's version or solution to timeshare. And I was at the kiosks that you come across in the parks and the resorts. That was my very first job. And my first day on my own was at Magic Kingdom in Adventureland. And I stood there and handed out stickers to kids. And I had so much fun. I remember going home that day thinking, my worst day working here will be so much better than any other job I've ever done. Like it was super fun. It really
That's cool.
was.
Yeah.
And I did that for quite a while, like several years, successful in doing so. Then got promoted to more of their like in-house on the phone type sales position. Then there
Now,
was a
at,
big,
at, at, at
yeah,
at that time,
yes.
did you look at the Walt Disney Company as being your career, as being a company that was your vision to use it as a stepping stone into another company, or
Are
or
we
what
talking
were you
about the
thinking?
beginning?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
As
at the
you
beginning,
were
I thought I would just be there a year or two.
okay, okay,
Hmm.
and then you worked there for 3 or 4 years. Was there a point in time that you said to yourself, this is where I want to be for the rest of my life.
Yeah. The last position that I was in, um, I had, I think it was close to 9 years that I ended up being there all when it was all said and done. But that one was where I knew that I was going to stick around with the company or I thought, right, till the end. Whether it be in that exact position, I was open
Sure.
to that. I really did enjoy it. But I also was open to other things if something would have come about anyway. But
Yeah, it's a
yeah, so
huge
it
company.
changed over the
Yeah.
years. Like early on, going in, thought gonna get some good experience with a company well known and just see where this takes me. And then as I got older and comfortable, um, ironically, I was just thinking like this is good. I'm gonna stick around
Yeah.
for the long
Yeah.
haul. Yeah.
Okay. And you were there for how long?
So when it was all said and done, 18 and a half years
Wow.
is how much time
Almost two
I,
decades.
yes, exactly.
And what happened? You
Well,
were
I
you were walking along the beach one day,
yeah.
minding your own business.
So I'm actually going to even share with you prior to the what ended that
Okay.
run. Um, because I mentioned a couple like promotions within, and when I was still in the sales department, I interviewed for a role that was in quality assurance, still with the Disney Vacation Club. And I really wasn't even sure that I wanted to go into that, but I thought, let me explore, right? Well, I ended up being offered the job, and when they called to offer it to me, they told me what my salary would be. Now, I had been in sales, and this was a salary position, and it was lower than I thought it would be. And
Mm,
when she told me, I thought, oh boy, I don't know if I can do this. It was believe it or not, it was a promotion from a um, uh, status standpoint, but sales, you can be a low, just lower in
commissions.
status, but make more money than
Yeah,
sometimes your
yeah.
managers, right?
Yep, yep.
So that was a little scary. And so when she told me that, she said, but keep in mind you have better like benefits with this salary position, like medical benefits that are like higher level and so on. And I'm like, but that doesn't pay my bills, like, so I thought, goodness, I
Yeah,
don't know if
because
I could
because
take
as
it.
as a salesperson, you're probably making salary plus commission. And
Yeah,
as a salesperson, right?
correct.
The reason why I was in sales for 50 years is because if you want to give yourself a raise, go out and sell something. That's how I always
Yes,
looked at it.
right.
And what a lot of people don't understand is that sales people can make a lot of money. And going from a sales lifestyle where you're making commissions and you're making salary, and
Hmm.
all of a sudden going from a non-commission to a non-commission job,
Right.
uh, when you make less money because you don't have commissions, all of a sudden you're like, okay, this is gonna be a little bit of a hit
Yes.
on my life. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. So I went home and crunched some numbers and figured, just might have to eat some rice and beans for a while and get adjusted to this. And so I took the job. I took it. And I had a doctor's appointment set up for, it was about around 10 or 11 days after I started this new role as a quality assurance manager. So I go to this doctor's appointment. I had some symptoms but of some things, but nothing that I thought super serious. And so when I went to this appointment, sure enough, I found out I had colon cancer.
oh my God.
Yeah, I was 33 years old. And I did not see that come. Like, even when she told me, I don't think I wrapped my head around it right away. She showed me like, an image of the tumor, and I think of like, Charlie Brown when the teacher talks, the wah wah wah, like it was like all blurry, of what
Yeah,
she was
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
But I do remember her saying that you're 33 and we're going to get you to 83. So you're going to have to schedule a colonoscopy, you're going to have to schedule, scans and different things.
Sure.
And wouldn't you know, those medical benefits, I'm using air quotes right now if you're only listening. Those medical benefits ended up coming in like super important to my journey.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I almost didn't take that job. I almost did an interview and I almost didn't take the job. And because I was salary and then I had to take time off, I went through chemotherapy and radiation and multiple surgeries and complications with surgeries. And just, it was like over a year and a half of some, it was a wild ride. And I had to take quite a bit of time off of work. But because of those benefits, that salary still was there. And I wouldn't have had
Okay.
that had I been in the sales position.
So folks that don't understand again sales, you moved from a sales position with commissions
Hmm.
and you made commissions by working.
Right.
Then right, and hustling. And then you moved into a salary position
Yep.
and then you were diagnosed with colon cancer.
Hmm.
And had you still been in sales at that time, you wouldn't have been able to make the commissions,
Correct. It
right?
would have
But your
dropped me to about
salary,
40% of what I was bringing in.
but while your salary was less than what your average sales job or sales year came in with,
That's
now all
right.
of a sudden you couldn't sell.
That's
And
right.
so your salary came in
Oh,
handy and
for
the
sure.
and your wow. Well,
Yes.
you rolled with the punches and everything worked out. Yep.
It did. It did. And
Amazing.
I'll even report because sometimes people will ask, "Are you okay now?" And I'm, how many years are we out of 13 cancer free and everything is
Good for
like,
you.
I'm
Wonderful.
better on the other side. And it was, I will tell you this, John, getting that cancer diagnosis, I'll probably tear up, was one of the best things to ever happen to me. I do not wish it on anyone to go through. We all know somebody, and there's
Yeah.
probably people listening who are going through it or have gone through it. I would not wish it on anyone, but the life lessons that it taught me and to just change my outlook and how to be thankful for the littlest things just really, it definitely changed my life, and I'm super grateful. I'd never want to do it again. I'm
Yeah.
very, very grateful to have had that kind of experience, life-altering experience at such a young age. And it was amazing. And I just felt like I was guided into that new role that kept me afloat financially, um, to go through, which
Yeah.
took, it was a
Yeah.
burden off my shoulders not to worry because of those medical benefits that came in handy.
Amazing.
Hmm.
Amazing. Yeah,
Yes.
that holy cow. You don't want to sound Pollyannish about it, right? It was the
Hmm.
best experience, best thing in my life.
Right.
Um, best thing that ever happened to me. But it's amazing how things work. A friend of mine once told me, he says, when you're healthy, you can have 1,000 problems.
Hmm.
But when you're not healthy, you only have one.
That's right.
And it sounds like that might have been the part of your gratitude that you they came out the other side with, and that is amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you're
Yeah.
still with us. Congratulations,
Thank
and
you. Thank
yeah,
you.
that's wonderful. All right, so then where did your journey take you?
Yeah, so once I got myself back on my feet and doing a lot better back into, now I got acclimated to that role in quality assurance, and it consisted of traveling a lot, where they would send us on Disney cruises, and I would go at least 1 week out of the month, sometimes 2 or 3 weeks out of the month. So I got to travel all over the world, which was incredible. I've been to over 30, I think my number is at 31 countries at this point.
With
Um,
Disney.
with Disney on Disney Cruise Line.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
So it
that's
was
awesome.
amazing because they have a, like a sales presence out there for the Disney Vacation Club on the Disney ships. And so at that time, they would send a quality assurance manager to do our part during that process. So yeah, it was amazing. It has since changed since COVID and everything. So the role itself is very, very different. But at that time, that is how it was. And so I really, I mean, I got to see so many places.
Wonderful.
That was, yeah, it was quite quite amazing, and
Sounds like a
enjoyed.
dream job.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
Good for you.
It
Good for
was.
you.
I've always enjoyed the things about the travel industry and, again, hospitality and everything. So to be able to see places I never thought I would. I went to Russia. It was one time, but to, go there, and it just, yeah, so many cool things, Europe and Alaska and all the places the cruises go. So
That is
Caribbean,
so
more times
crazy
than I could
with
count. Yeah,
Disney. With
with
Disney. I mean,
Disney.
and we all know, I mean, Disney does first class everything. Everything.
Yeah,
And wow, that is cool. That is
yeah.
cool. Yeah.
So then, yeah, just bringing it to 2020 when everything changed for everybody.
Yeah.
And at that time, they furloughed almost everyone, and so while being furloughed, I started thinking, I've always wanted to start my own business and I should think of something that would be fun to do. So when I go back to work, I'll have this to do on the side, just again, fun. And I started a mobile spray tanning business because I like the beauty industry. I
Okay.
know my story takes some
Well,
zigzags, let me
cool.
tell you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I just started kind of getting my research done and some training and certification and just really putting those ducks in a row. And that included building my own website. I had all the time in the world. I was furloughed. But then once I had made this decision and started getting things ready for starting that business, I got the call that my position was being eliminated. And I was one of, I would think it was close to 30,000, 27, 28,000. I can't remember the exact number that Disney did layoffs. And so I wasn't going to be going
Wow.
back to work. Yeah. Um,
Whoa.
big change. Big, like, didn't see that coming kind of thing. But I'll tell you a parallel that happened in that moment or within the first day or two of finding out I wasn't going to go back. I had the exact same feeling as when I was diagnosed with cancer. And I failed to mention this earlier, but when I was diagnosed, within about 24 hours, and I got some of my tears out and everything, I just felt it in my gut that I was gonna be okay. I can't explain it. I can't tell you why I thought that. I just felt it like I'm going to
Hmm.
be okay. And so when I got that call, and I just thought, I'm gonna be okay. Like I'm gonna figure it out. And I think maybe it's a thing about my personality. I don't know, but yeah, it was wild. Like it was the same. You kind of mourn your prior life. I
Sure.
mourned, mourned
Totally.
before I found out I had cancer. I mourned while had my job at Disney, and then thought, but this isn't going to last long as far as this mourning goes. You're going to make it through and be okay and even possibly better for it on the other side. And that's what's happened.
Why do you think in both the cancer diagnosis and you're being told that your job's being eliminated? What is it about you? What is it about your experience? What is it about, yeah, that it let you know that everything's going to be okay?
I think first thing is I have faith in God, and I have faith that He's with me and guides me through the good and the bad. And
Yep.
I feel that just
Yep.
because you have that faith in God does not mean everything is always going to run perfect or run according to plan. And
A lot of times it doesn't. Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. But I do think that I also have a very strong support system with my family. And I'm firstborn, so maybe there's something there about that determination, just to make things happen, I guess. Yeah, those are
Do
my
you, do you,
best
do you
answers that
think
I
do
can
you think
think of.
that your experience of having, what you said of leaving Pittsburgh and just moving to Orlando with your vision and that whole experience, to me that is a kind of survival experience
Hmm.
that, you decide to leave your hometown, you decide to travel or move 1,000 miles away,
Hmm.
and you're all of a sudden you're on your own. And
Hmm.
something happens with people when they have experiences like that, when you realize, I can survive. Everything's going to be okay.
Right.
So do you think and the reason why I ask is because, I talk about life in terms of muscles, and a lot of whether it be a survival muscle or whether it be a relationship muscle, anything that we do in our lives, we have to work at. We have to work at, and the more experience you get at it, fear is a really powerful thing.
Yeah.
But the more you learn about it and the more you experience it, the less fearsome it becomes.
Yeah.
And so I tell people, if you're in a rut, get up, get up. When you fall down, get up.
Right.
Everything's gonna be okay. Just go.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and that sounds like that's what you did.
It seems like as I look back on my life, the big decisions, if you will, or the big things that happen haven't taken tons of uh like I let me think how to say this. It, the cliche, follow your gut, or what, how you feel, like your heart or whatever. But
Hmm.
there's certain things that I may analyze or think about for a while on a decision on something, but those big things just feel right, and and I just know.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
like an
yeah,
instinct.
yeah,
So the move into Florida, there was planning and everything to it, but I just knew. I didn't think about all the what ifs. Well, what if this or what if that? I
yeah,
just did
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Um, yeah, so it's interesting how those big pivotal things, just you just know.
yeah. Now, you got laid off.
Yeah,
And in the meantime, you were building out a small business,
right.
right? So, a lot of people, I mean, getting laid off is a big deal. It's a big deal, and I don't want to minimize it by saying, "Oh yeah, you just got up and you went on your way." No, it's tough. It's
Yeah,
tough because all of a sudden your livelihood is gone, and you got to figure things out. And especially in the world today, as you and I were talking pre-show, change is happening so fast. And in our world with the rise of artificial intelligence, I mean, there's just so much uncertainty going on out there, and a lot of fear, right?
yeah,
And we have heard the announcements after announcement after announcement of companies laying people off and letting people go and so forth and so on. And so it's real. It's real. Um, what were you got the news? Something inside you said, everything's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. What did
yes,
you do?
yeah. So when I launched that small business, I had a colleague of mine ask me to design a website for him, and he was also launching a small business. And so I did. And I just found that I really enjoyed it. Like, I had the patience for it. And I
Hmm.
guess you could say I had a bit of an eye for it. And I just, yeah, so I did it. And I started putting out on social media, like, hey, I'll do websites. And it started to snowball. And it got to a point where I could no longer continue doing that first small business with the mobile spray tanning. It was too much. And so I closed it and kept doing the web design business, where at one point, now it was just me at that point, but I would have 10 and 12 projects lined up waiting to go. And yeah, it just took off. And there were definitely days of being overwhelmed. And yeah, I'd work 15, 16, 17 hours some days, and many days, 6, 7 days a week. And I just kept going doing that. And then finally was able to, like, get some help with some other people and brought on a graphic designer and who went to school at Fashion Institute of Technology in New York City. Um, a couple other web designers, copywriters, and so now I have a team that helps so that I have a little bit of balance, much better than what I did a couple years prior. So yeah, it's been a crazy ride.
And somehow everything turned out okay.
Yeah, so far so good.
What would you tell folks who are in, first of all, folks who are in a situation where they've just been laid off and they're going through that grieving process, what would you tell them?
Well, take the time to grieve, like don't don't try to just pass by that so quickly. And at the same time, starting over, it's not too late. Because what you're taking into this quote unquote starting over is a lot more experience than you would have at the start of, your career or whatever. So yeah, just um, you know, I entrepreneurship or, working for yourself is not for the faint of heart. You It's very much perceived as having so much like freedom, and there is a certain kind of freedom. It's just that you like, in other words, the hours that I work, I typically do stick to some business hours, but if I want or have to, I can adjust that. If I need or want to take time off, I can. Those are the kind of freedoms that you have, but it's not the kind of freedom where you just are sitting on a yacht all day.
Yeah, yeah,
Not at this level that I am anyway.
yeah.
And so, so it's if you're laid off and trying to figure out your path, think about what you are interested in because that is huge when it comes to what job that whether you work for a company or you start your own business or whatever, what you're interested in, what you have either patience for or, just want to learn about. Those are all things that are very, very important in having satisfaction in what you do.
It's funny because when earlier when you lit up, right,
Hmm.
about Disneyland, you know, or Walt Disney. Folks, it's okay to love what you do.
Hmm.
It's okay, right? In fact, it's ideal. You can't always do what you love to do, but
Right.
I have found time and time and time again, like you said, tough times can open doors. And a lot of folks who I speak with a lot have said that, having been laid off was a blessing in disguise. And
Right.
it opened different doors. Um, for those people who are fearful, who are in their jobs right now, but they're seeing layoffs happening all around them, what would you tell them?
Just don't give up. I mean, sometimes you have to boil things down, like take it day by day, whether it's month by month, week by week, day by day, hour by hour, moment by moment. Just keep going forward. That's really, you know, um, asking for help, whether it's helping network, whether it's helping with, having family help you out or whatever, just not being afraid to ask for help
Yeah, and
when
keep
it's
going.
needed. Yeah, and
And
keep going.
you did something that um, I coach a lot of people on, and that is start something on the side.
Yes.
I mean, while you were working for Disney, you were furloughed at the time, but you started your spray tan business.
Hmm.
And that started your path. That kind of started a little bit of an exit ramp, right?
Right.
Or a potential exit ramp. And in the world today, I am fat quickly learning about artificial intelligence.
Hmm.
And I'll tell you, a lot of people are fearful of it. And one thing about me is that when I'm fearful about something, I just go after it. I used to be afraid of heights, so I jumped out of an airplane. I used to be fear of deep water, so I went scuba diving.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Okay.
just hit it. And so, having been in technology and seeing the rise of AI and how things are happening so fast, it's one of those things. AI is going to take over everything, right? I mean, you hear people say all that AI is going to take everybody's jobs. But you know what? I am absolutely convinced that everything, as you talked about, your theme, everything's going to be okay. And every closed door opens a window somewhere. I think I got that from The Sound of Music, from Julie Andrews,
Yeah.
where God closes a door, he opens a window somewhere. And
Yeah.
so, but I would encourage everybody to learn AI. I mean, there's so much great information out there. Go to YouTube and just start playing with it and start playing with different tools. I had a person on my podcast yesterday, and she talked about, it can be as easy as using an AI tool called Perplexity. And instead of Googling, use Perplexity and do your searches on this AI tool.
Hmm.
Everybody knows how to Google. So it's as easy as that, folks, right? But the more you use it, the more you learn. And all of a sudden, I'm seeing people out there becoming experts on AI
Hmm.
in weeks and being able to do stuff and build businesses around it. And I've never seen anything happen so fast. And so, and I've told people, Kristen, for a lot of, there's long time, there's three types of people: those who make things happen, those who watch things happen, and those who wake up one morning and say, "What happened?" You've heard
Yes.
this.
Yes.
And this is happening really, really quickly. And, uh, and there's just so much opportunity out there. So if you're looking for something to do on the side, learn, learn
Right.
AI. You don't have to use it, but you know what? I think that if you use AI tools to start to help you build your videos, or use AI tools to help you build your PowerPoint decks, or use AI I mean, there's any number of things to support every function of your business, and even your life. I mean, learn, learn, and
Yes.
and give yourself that escape valve.
Yeah. It's a tool. Like that's it's why you use a hammer to put a nail in the wall. Like it's a tool that can help you do certain things quicker, better. Embrace
Faster,
it.
cheaper.
Like
Yeah.
faster, cheap. Right, exactly. And it's ironic is something that's important to me in my business with web design and branding and everything is the relationship aspect because the more AI and automation and things like that keep growing, the more I'm feeling that people appreciate a real human and connecting. And I've had clients come to me because they've been burned. There's, people in the industry that aren't trustworthy and, that always, I mean, it can be any industry really, but it's pretty easy to get taken when it comes to things that are digital. And so I've had, again, clients come to me knowing they can trust me, whether they were referred by another client or knew somebody that knows me. And building that business relationship is very, very important. And communication and just um, yeah, that human touch. Like I actually have right at the very top of my website text or call and speak to a real human. And that's exactly what happens. You speak to me. Um, so embrace the tools that we're being given, like with AI, and at the same time keeping that human touch and that relationship building also very, very important and
Oh my
something I'm
God.
bringing
Oh
in
my
now.
God. That there is so much to unwrap in what you just said. Um, uh, First of all, folks, let me give you a perspective that Kristen and I were just talking about. AI helps you be better, do things faster,
Hmm.
do things less expensively.
Hmm.
And these are the kinds and help you be more productive. And these are the kinds of thing your bosses want, your companies want.
Right.
And so if you learn AI in for your current job, you will become more productive. You will become more valuable. And guess what? If the day comes when you get that phone call that says, you know what, thank you for coming. We don't have you don't have a job.
Hmm.
You will have learned so much on the job
Right.
that you will be able to leverage anywhere you go,
Hmm.
right? It'll be an additional tool set that you have and skill set that you have. So holy cow, wherever you're working, figure out how to use AI because that knowledge, that experience, Warren Buffett said the best investment you can ever make is in your own learning. And he's
Hmm.
absolutely right. And the other thing I wanted to just share real quick, Kristen, and you'll appreciate this, and I appreciate what you just said about relationships.
Hmm.
You know, AI is taking over intelligence. AI is taking over data. AI is taking over intellect. But the one thing that AI, at least for the foreseeable future,
Hmm.
cannot replace is human connection,
Right.
right? Is the human connection. And I'm in the process actually of building out a whole course, a whole series on sales. The big sales is all about using AI and you as a secret weapon because the relationships, the empathy, the trust, that stuff is not going to go away for a long, long time. And
Hmm.
so building out the muscles, right, of
Yes.
understanding AI and understanding how that works, and it's going to serve you. I promise you, if you start, you're going to get excited, you're going to get interested. If you just take that first step, and 10 years from now, you're going to remember this podcast.
Right.
So, am I wrong?
I'm on board with you.
Okay, it's amazing. It's amazing. And what I love about our conversation today is it's just about life. It's just about life, right? Shit
Right.
happens. Life's
Yes.
not fair. It's
Yep.
hard, right?
Yep.
But whatever you decide to do, I did a short reel, a short video, and I said, life's hard. It's hard to get rich, and it's hard to be poor. It's hard to be good, and it's hard when you're bad. It's hard, you take everything, right?
Yeah.
So choose wisely.
Choose your hard. Yeah.
It's hard to learn, but guess what? It's hard if you don't.
Yeah.
So choose. So
Right.
choose. Kristen, do you have any final words or messages that you'd like to leave with the audience?
No, this was amazing. I knew from the start I was going to enjoy this conversation and I wasn't wrong. So, yeah,
Oh, good.
this was incredible. So,
Well,
thank
this
you
is
so
wonderful.
much.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for sharing your experiences because, folks, like I said, shit happens.
Yep.
And, there's a Japanese saying that says, fall down 7 times, get up 8. And,
Mm,
you keep going. You keep going. So,
right.
with that, Kristen, thank you for joining me. Thank you for sharing your story. I love you. God bless you. I know somebody out there is going to be inspired and touched by our conversation today. Everybody, folks, if you've been laid off, we've kind of given you some ideas. If you're worried about it, we've given you some ideas. If you know somebody, share this video with them. Share this episode with them. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So with that, folks, I love you. God bless you. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye.